Alright, so there is a new feature called Model Fusion from OpenRouter. So this is very similar to a model console from Perplexity, where you can chat with the models from Anthropic, from ChatGPT, from Gemini, and then later you'll get a combined answer, and of course AI will address the differences between the answers from these models. So this feature, Model Console or Model Fusion, is a great way if you want to get the most accurate answer, you want to avoid some blind spots or weaknesses or bias from those models. And now it is available without the $200 subscription on Perplexity, so you can use Model Fusion in OpenRouter anytime you want, and also you can even use some free models, meaning that you don't have to pay for this tool. Now, if you want to use Model Fusion, you can navigate to openrouter.ai, and then you can create a free account using your email. And then let's navigate to Fusion. So that's one way to access it, or you can just navigate to this URL. Either way, you'll see this page. So as you can see, there are some presets like quality, budget, and then custom. So in the quality, you can see that there are some big models like Claude Opus and the latest models of ChatGPT. And in the budget preset, you can see that there is Gemini Flash, there is also a DeepSeek and some open source models. Usually you'll find lots of open source models here. And speaking about open source models, you can also access some open source models like GLM, Qwen, Gemma in Model Fusion. So let's say for this demo, I'm going to use the combination of closed source and open source model. So I'm going to delete this. So I'm going to start all over again. Let me just click add model. And the first model is going to be Sonnet. So Claude Sonnet. And the next model is going to be, let's say I want to try, okay, there are plenty of models. Let me try Mistral. Okay, Mistral. Okay, there are many models of Mistral. You know what? Let's go with GPT. I'm not quite familiar with some Mistral models. Okay, GPT 5.5, that's the latest right now. And then I'm going to use an open source model that is free. So the easiest way to find free models, you can click free, and then you can see that there are some models. Now be careful, do not use models that produce music or picture or videos, because those are not compatible on this platform. And honestly, I don't understand why don't they just filter out those models, because those are not compatible. But anyway, I do recommend to click the output filter and then select text. And here, let's say I want to use perhaps the Gemma model, Gemma 4 with 31 billion parameters. That's free, by the way. Now, I forgot to mention that if you want to use the best models or closed models like, Claude Sonnet or perhaps GPT, those models are really big and very expensive, and therefore you actually have to bring your API key, or you can buy some credits. And to do that, you can hover above this menu and then go to credits, and then you'll see that you can add some credits, and then you can follow the instructions on the screen to add your banking info, or you can also just bring your own API key from the platform, from OpenAI or Anthropic or Google AI Studio. So yeah, you can either bring your own API key or just purchase the credits normally using this page. Now let me just go back to the Model Fusion page. And for the prompt, I haven't addressed the fuse model. So this is basically the model that will be used later to combine the answers from Sonnet, GPT 5.5, and Gemma 4. And I do recommend to use a model that is on par or maybe even better than the other models that you use for testing. So in this case, I think Claude Opus is totally fine. I think that's actually a good model. And yeah, I'm going to use that. Now, for the prompt, of course, you don't want to use a simple prompt. You don't want to use you don't want to waste the credits that you spend on this tool just to answer a simple question. So let's say I want to start a software as a service business, but I don't know coding and I only know how to use AI tools to do some coding. So give me the top 3 easiest software as a service tool that I can build with minimal expenses. Okay, so top 3, and you'll see that the answer would be different from one model to another. Now here you can enable web search, but I'm not going to do that because I just want to get the pure answer from the training data of these models. And it is also possible to add a document if you want to, and you can also refine your own prompt. And honestly, this tool is pretty amazing because it will look at your prompt and then it will analyze it and then will ask you a few more clarifying questions to make your prompt more detailed and perhaps better. But it is completely optional, so I'm going to cancel it. And you can also adjust the settings, although there aren't much that we can do. We can only change the reasoning effort and also the temperature, and that's about it. So it's not the most comprehensive AI settings, and that's quite disappointing, especially given that some models do have a very detailed setting. But in this case, we don't have access to that. So it is only for reasoning and temperature setting. Now, when you're done with all of the settings, you can click the submit button and just wait for AI to generate the answer. Now, given that I was using a high level reasoning, it might take quite a while for these models to generate the answer. So I'll just skip a word and I'll show you the next thing that you can do. All right, so apparently the Fuse model is just synthesizing the answers from Anthropic Claude, GPT 5.5, and Gemini 4. And by the way, if you want to see the answer from each model, you can click on the model card, and then you can see that we got these answers from 3 AI models. Okay, now let me see. Okay, so apparently it has finished the combining the answers, and I'm going to click read full response. And there you go. So top 3 software as a service product built as a non-coder. Okay, so there's also niche examples, and it has to be specific. And let me see, AI powered PDF document assistant. Okay, chat with your dogs. Okay, that's something, although I would say that's kind of saturated. There are many tools that can do that. Niche utility tool. Okay, that's actually a good thing. Niche utility tool, if you want to create a product, you don't want to start with a really big idea. I think start with something small is a lot more reasonable. And there's also the text type for non-coder. Okay, bubble or softer. I don't think that's a great idea for a non-coder, but anyway, I think that's also quite a decent answer. Yeah, so yeah, as you can see, this is the combination of the answers from Sonnet, from Sonnet, GPT, and then Gemma. And you can also see the category like the blind spots, the partial coverage, the agreement, key differences, etc. So these are some nice insights from the answer of these models. Now you can continue with the normal chat, but you are actually chatting with the Opus model, the Fuse model that you selected earlier. So you're not chatting with all of the models again, you're only chatting with one model, but it's going to referring to the answers from the previous AI models. So yeah, that's essentially how you can use the model fusion feature from OpenRouter. And I would say this is a lot more economical than, you know, paying $200 per month of Perplexity Max subscription to be able to enjoy the model console feature. But it is also possible to use it for free locally on your computer, and that is by using OpenWebUI. So yeah, this is another place you can play around with a model fusion or model console feature, and I actually have talked about that on my previous video. So if you are interested, I'm going to put this video in the description down below, how you can set it up locally on your computer. So yeah, that's basically it. I hope you learned something from this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on my next video. Have a great day.